So it's Saturday, and to me, in this week, Saturday feels like probably the most hopeless of all the days, especially for Jesus' friends and disciples and family. Jesus is in the tomb. He's buried. He's dead. He's gone. And I just feel like hopelessness sets in, and nobody knows what to do. And just on Friday, Joseph had buried Jesus. The stone had been rolled away. And then in the book of Matthew, in chapter 27, verse 62, we read this. It says, "The next day on the Sabbath, the leading priests and Pharisees went to see Pilate. They told him, 'Sir, we remember what this deceiver once said while he was still alive. After 3 days I will rise from the dead. So we request that you seal the tomb until the third day. This will prevent his disciples from coming and stealing his body, and then telling everyone he was raised from the dead. If that happens, we'll be worse off than we were at first.'" And so Pilate puts guards and seals the tomb. And what I love about that passage is even these religious leaders and Pharisees, who are probably more guilty than any of us for Jesus being put to death, they were after him his whole life. They knew that if word ever got out that Jesus was not in that tomb, that there would be no stopping his followers, his disciples, the people that believed in who he was. And they were so right. And so because of that fear that they had, they tried to get in the way of the plans that Jesus had. And they had guards sent to the tomb, and it was sealed. And they tried to kind of stand in the way of the things that Jesus had already put in motion. And what I love about that is because of that, they ended up strengthening the argument that Jesus is alive, because how else would he have gotten out of that tomb? And to me, that's such a powerful reminder that in the midst of our Saturdays, in the midst of our hardships, when it seems like there's something stuck right in the middle of the plans that we thought Jesus had for us, God has a way to use that. And even when it doesn't seem like it, even when it doesn't feel like, God has a way to even maybe make you stronger in the middle of that. And I know the question for me, and probably the question for a lot of us, is what do I do in those moments? What am I supposed to do in those moments? And if you flip over in Scripture to the book of Luke, in chapter 23, verses 55, it says this: "As his body was taken away, the women from Galilee followed and saw the tomb where his body was placed. Then they went home and prepared spices and ointments to anoint his body. But by that time they finished, and it was the Sabbath. And so they rested as required by the law." And to me, that seems like one of those verses that doesn't really make a lot of sense. Like, why is that in there? And for me, that is just a reminder in those moments when everything seems hopeless, when it's that Saturday in your life, when there's something stuck between you and the plans you thought Jesus had for you. Don't worry about the future. Don't look to Sunday yet. Don't look to what seems impossible, but look to him in the middle of that. Look to the plans that he has for you and just say, "I'm going to be faithful." Just as they were faithful in this moment, they did the next right thing. They took the next right step. And for them, it was just remembering Sabbath and keeping it holy. And so I don't know what that might be for you, but I just challenge you on this Saturday. Do the next right thing. Take the next right step. And don't let anything stand in between you and what Jesus has for you.